Hello, this video provides a comprehensive overview of India's recent higher education regulatory reforms and explains why these changes are critical for institutions, students, administrators, and policymakers. India's higher education system is entering a new regulatory phase. These reforms represent a fundamental restructuring of governance, oversight, and accountability mechanisms. The emphasis is no longer on permissions and discretionary control, but on outcomes, transparency, and measurable institutional performance. For decades, higher education regulation in India was characterized by multiple authorities, overlapping jurisdictions, and discretionary decision-making. While this framework enabled expansion, it also resulted in uneven quality, regulatory uncertainty, and limited accountability. The new reforms mark a clear policy shift. Regulation is now designed around structured accountability, standardization, and objective evaluation. Institutions are assessed not merely on infrastructure or approvals, but on academic outcomes, governance quality, and compliance discipline. One of the most significant reforms is the introduction of mandatory accreditation for all higher education institutions. Accreditation is no longer optional or symbolic. It becomes the foundation of an institution's right to operate. Institutions functioning without valid accreditation may face withdrawal of affiliation, restrictions on admissions, or complete closure. This requirement applies uniformly across public, private, and deemed institutions, establishing a common quality baseline across the higher education ecosystem. The reforms introduce a clearly defined graded penalty mechanism for regulatory non-compliance. First-time violations may result in financial penalties of up to 30 lakh rupees. Repeated, persistent, or serious violations can attract penalties up to 75 lakh rupees. In severe cases, institutions may face academic restrictions, suspension of programs, or closure. This represents a decisive move away from advisory regulation toward enforcement-driven compliance. Institutional autonomy under the new framework is no longer uniform. It is directly linked to performance. High-performing institutions with strong accreditation outcomes will enjoy greater academic and administrative freedom. This includes flexibility in curriculum design, program expansion, governance, structures, and institutional growth. Conversely, institutions with weak performance records will face increased scrutiny, tighter oversight, and reduced flexibility. Autonomy is no longer assumed. It must be earned. A major structural change introduced by the reforms is the creation of a four-council regulatory architecture. A regulatory council will focus on compliance and enforcement. An accreditation council will assess institutional outcomes and quality metrics. A standards council will define academic benchmarks, learning outcomes, and faculty norms. A funding or support mechanism will align financial assistance with performance and outcomes. This separation of roles reduces overlap, minimizes discretionary interference, and improves regulatory clarity. Transparency is now a regulatory obligation. Institutions are required to publicly disclose key information, including faculty qualifications, infrastructure, courses offered, learning outcomes, governance structures, and accreditation status. This information must be accessible to students, parents, regulators, and the public, enabling informed decision-making and reinforcing accountability through transparency. Student protection is a central objective of the reforms. Institutions must establish effective grievance redressal mechanisms. Regulators are empowered to intervene swiftly in cases of academic disruption, invalid degrees, or sudden institutional failure. The framework ensures that students are not left vulnerable due to regulatory non-compliance or institutional mismanagement. While opposition parties raised concerns regarding implementation and centralization, the reforms were passed. This reflects strong political intent to enforce compliance, elevate academic quality, and introduce market discipline into higher education. The sector is expected to become more competitive, outcome-oriented, and globally aligned. In conclusion, India's new higher education regulatory framework significantly strengthens accountability, links autonomy to outcomes, and places students at the center of regulation. Accreditation is mandatory. Penalties are enforceable. Transparency is non-negotiable. Institutions must adapt to this new regulatory reality or face consequences. Thank you. Munses and Management Consultants LLP, a trusted partner for SEZ and IFSC excellence, a pioneer in establishing SEZ and IFSC units within GIFT City and India, delivering end-to-end IFSC setup, operational support, and handling compliances, risk management, renowned for deep expertise in regulatory approvals, capital markets, fund management, insurance, finance company, foreign university, BATF, and ancillary regulations, and fintech expertise in customs clearance for aircraft and ship procurement, leasing, GST, DSPF, IFSCA, comprehensive support covering registration, reporting, and regulatory transitions, ensuring ring fencing, transparency, and global compliance standards. Join our network, scan the QR codes below to stay connected with us.